no jokes, I filmed this video 4 times. This is my 4th time filming this video. Hi guys, my name is Zainab Agbaje, and if you're new to my channel, I am a 3rd-year med student and a fitness enthusiast, and I make videos about med school and like fitness stuff. So if you're into videos like that, please consider subscribing. It would help out my channel a lot. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So today's video is going to be about medical school. A lot of like international students, or a lot of people that completed their undergraduate degree outside of America, they've been messaging me asking how they could go about studying in America, completing their medical degree basically in America. I've been getting this question for like almost a year now, and I really didn't have like a direct answer because I didn't really know. I am also an international student, however I completed my undergraduate degree in America, so I have a different experience and a different path to medical school compared to, you know, the other alternative, and I literally don't know anything about it. So I decided to speak with the admissions office of my school, and I also spoke with international student student office essentially of my school as well, just to ask like basic questions of like how possible is it to basically get into medical school in America if you completed your undergraduate degree outside of America or Canada. And honestly, the truth of the matter is I actually still don't know. I don't think there's a clear path to how it's going to be done. Essentially, I spoke with the representative at the admissions office of my school, and they basically mentioned that the typical profile of international students is an international student that completed their undergraduate degree in Canada or in the United States. However, the representative did mention that it wasn't necessarily impossible to get into medical school as an international student that did not complete their undergraduate degree outside of America or Canada. So basically, he didn't give me like a clear answer. There wasn't like a clear percentage of how much of an international student with that specific profile they accept. He just told me that the typical profile of international students is international students that basically completed their undergraduate degree in Canada or in the United States. So I don't have a clear answer. I didn't have a clear answer when I spoke with one of the representatives there. I also spoke with the international student office. I basically asked about immigration, and from what I understood from our conversation, it seems like there's no difference when it comes to applying. There's no difference when it comes to like the immigration aspects with applying for student visa and everything like that. So because I didn't still have like a clear answer from like the admissions office, I did my own online research, which was what I was trying to avoid doing, which is why this video it has taken me so long to film. But I did my own research. Essentially, it seems like there are going to be 2 specific situations where you have to walk around if you're going to apply to medical school after completing your undergraduate degree outside of America or Canada. If you guys don't know, I need to like backtrack a bit, so please follow me. The medical schools in America, that is either the MD program, which is the allopathic medicine, or the DO program, which is the osteopathic medicine. They typically would use these specific websites or like bodies for their primary medical school application. So when you're applying to medical school, you go through the primary application, then you go through the secondary application, and then you get like an interview, and then you get, you know, either get admitted or not. So for the primary application, all of the schools in America essentially use specific websites or specific like bodies. So you don't necessarily apply to the school directly for the primary application. So for the allopathic medicine, which is basically MD, they typically would use the AMCAS website. That's what it's called. I'm going to leave it on the screen somewhere. And for the osteopathic schools, you would typically use the AACO-MAS website. That's a different one. It's just osteopathic medicine. They would ask for similar things in general, like your letter of recommendation, your transcripts, your MCAT, your personal statement, your research work, your volunteer work, your experiences. They will ask for similar things, it's just different formats. And there's also a different board, like a different body essentially. It's called the TMDSAS. It's basically for medical schools in Texas. Texas just is its own country, so they have their own different body for that. So either way, if you're looking into applying to medical school, international students or not, you have to go through one of those bodies, either AMCS or AMCOS. So now the thing is, it's easy to obviously access this website. So if you guys can, and you're looking into medical school, if you're looking into applying to medical schools in America, I think you should look into those websites. It's very easy to create an account and just see things on those websites. So from my research, it seems like there are going to be 2 hurdles that you basically have to walk around or overcome to apply to medical schools here if you completed your undergraduate degree outside of America or Canada. And the biggest one is basically taking the MCAT. Unfortunately, well, I was going to say that you absolutely need the MCAT to before you can apply to medical schools in America. Essentially, like you absolutely have to take the MCAT. There is a different path to get into medical schools without taking the MCAT. However, that path basically consists of you completing your undergraduate degree in America. So if you're not completing your undergraduate degree in America, you have to take the MCAT essentially. That if you are not in America or in Canada, there are a few, very few international locations for the MCAT. So I had to Google that. I didn't even know there were international locations, but there are a few international locations. I'm going to look away for a bit, but there's a location in Australia, there are locations in China, Hong Kong, China. There are locations in France, Germany, Israel, Japan, Lebanon, Qatar, Singapore, South Africa, Taiwan, Thailand, and the UK. So those are the places where they currently take MCATs outside of America or Canada territories. So if you are outside of those locations, you would have to travel into those locations, or you have to travel to America or Canada to take the exams essentially. So that's one of the hurdles. MCAT is not available in all of the countries in the world. So if your home country or the country that you're currently staying at is not part of the list, you'd have to travel to those places to take the MCAT. I mean, there's also the aspect of studying for the MCAT. A lot of people in America, a lot of my colleagues that I know of, they would either use like a Kaplan study resource, like a test prep situation. And there are also like textbooks, like a what's it called, MCAT test prep books. I'm going to leave on the screen the one that a lot of people use. You can get this book on Amazon. Those are the books that people would use to study for the MCAT. You can also pay for like practice exams, and also the AAMC website, which is where you probably register a lot, especially if you're going to apply for MD schools. You need to have a AAMC like registration going on. I believe they also offer like a free practice exam, and those ones are the ones that are very like accurate when it comes to determining what you would score. And so try to take those practice exams. I believe they are free, but definitely try to make sure you're taking practice exam before you take the exam. Another like hurdle that you'd have to like basically try to figure out a way to work around is having your transcript verified. So if you completed your undergraduate degree outside of America, first you have to definitely research the schools that you want to apply to, and make sure that you've taken all of the courses that they require. And it's typically basically biology, like a year of biology, a year of chemistry, organic chemistry sometimes, and like some require math and English and stuff like that. But the thing is though, you still need to have those classes verified, like your transcript verified by the website, and it's easier, quote unquote, to have it done if you completed your undergraduate degree in America or Canada, because I don't even remember having to like worry too much about it. I feel like it was just done in the back doors because they could have access to like those schools when I was applying. But I feel like there will be extra steps. Again, you have to go through the application process to see what the extra steps would be. If you completed your undergraduate degree outside of America, there will be extra steps that you might need to take to have those transcripts verified. So that's another big hurdle that isn't necessarily that you would need to pay attention to when applying. And with the rest of the application, honestly, I feel like it's a bit like similar with like, you know, your experiences, your personal statements. With everything else, it seems very like okay. You of course want to do your research when it comes to like the schools that you want to apply to. There are some schools that require, which I don't know why, will require you to, if you're an international student, will require you to pay all of the money for your tuition up front. Make sure you avoid them, except if you have the money like that, then you obviously can apply to those schools. And obviously after all of the application process, then once you've taken your MCAT, you've applied and stuff like that, I would personally recommend reaching out to schools specifically and making yourself like more like interested. I would recommend reaching out to the admissions office so that they can have a face to your application and they know like your specific situation at being an international student currently outside of America. Talk to them, ask them what you can do to like make yourself stand out, what you can do to prove that you really want to study here, what you can do, like what can you show for it. Like they can give you extra like tips on what you can do for your application essentially. I think having that like close-knit communication with them would definitely be like a positive for you when it comes to like your application. They would definitely, they might even have like a scholarship situation or like a program that you could start with or stuff like that. They might have more insights than something you can find online or even in this from this video. So I feel like reaching out to them specifically, knowing those schools specifically, and reaching out to them, being intentional, like send emails, give them a call, whatever it is, like just let them know that I'm interested, what can I do, I'm currently outside of the country, how can I show myself, I've applied, what can I do, and things like that. So if your primary application is completed, the secondary application is typically sent to you to complete through emails, and those ones are typically easy because you just go through each schools essentially, like go through their website and complete the application, and make sure you're completing those applications within like a couple of days after you receive the request to complete the secondary application. And remember, all of this will cost money. Your primary application will cost money, your secondary application will cost money, so make sure you have all of those things saved, all of the money saved up. Your MCAT will also cost money, especially there's an extra international student fee if you're, or international location fee rather, if you're going to be taking the MCAT in those locations that I talked about. Long story short, it's very, very difficult. However, it's not impossible. There are ways to go around it if you really want to do it. And also remember that once you've already been approved, once you've done all those things like that, you definitely want to make sure that you are able to pay for it, like medical school, pay for it, look into scholarships, talk to the schools about scholarships. If you have family members here that can like co-sign for loans for you, do your research about loans. From what I know, there are just a few banks or like loan companies essentially that gives loans to international students without a co-signer. So you would need a co-signer and a credit history, honestly, to be able to get loans for medical school. However, if you're able to like again afford it, or if you're able to get more scholarships and stuff like that, try to look into all of those things. It would help out a lot significantly, especially if you're coming into the country for the first time. So consider like the loan application process, consider your credit history, like trying to build up your credit history, which you can transfer credit history within countries. You have to have an American credit history. I definitely don't have a workaround for that, but it's something you can definitely look into and ask each schools about. All of that being said, like I said, it's not impossible, it's just a lot harder. I wanted to touch on like alternative paths to like practicing medicine in America. So the first path is what we just talked about, with like just, you know, those hurdles, figuring them out, and then also figuring out like how to pay for it and how to find co-signers and all of those things like that, and also building a credit history and figuring out how to stand out. Essentially, there's a lot of figuring out with the first path. The second path would be the path that I've taken. If you're still like, if you just graduated like secondary school or high school or something like that, and you want to be like pre-med, or you want to study medicine, I definitely would, if you are like privileged, definitely I would advise to consider like studying in Canada or America. Your undergraduate degree or pre-med degree, try to get it done in America or Canada. That way you can build up your credit history while you are studying here. You can also like easily take your classes and your MCATs. It can be easy for your transcripts to be verified. So of course that's a privilege, and that's also a lot of money because you have to spend money to go to a 4 years school here. So but it's, again, if you're very early in your path, you can consider that. That's kind of like my path. I am still an international student, but I did my undergraduate degree in America. And there's also an extra part. There's also a different path of like, if you've completed your undergraduate degree outside of America, and you could do like a post-bac degree. Again, it's some money, but you could do a post-bac degree, and you could also do like a or a master's degree, where you're able to take like the specific required courses for the medical schools you're looking into applying to. So you could do a post-bac degree in America, and that during that time, typically post-bac is like a year or two, so during that time you can start working on your credit history, you can start studying for the MCATs and taking it. You can also basically again take those classes, and it will be easy for your transcript to be verified because you're kind of like already in the country. And you can also be in the country and figure out like, do you really like America? Is it cool? Is it something that, is this a place you like to, like you would like to actually study medicine and stuff like that? And I believe like once it's time to apply for medical schools, the process is easier because you are already in the country and you kind of like already have the classes and everything. In that way, that would be like an alternative. Again, it's a bit more money, but it's less money than completing like a 4-year degree in America, because you're just going to be spending 2 years extra essentially of master's or post-bac. And honestly, having a master's degree on top of like your undergraduate degree is good, and even with the medical degree, it's A1. The other alternative would be completing your medical degree outside of America, like just completing it in whatever country, including the Caribbean. Honestly, like completing your medical degree completely outside of America. And once you've had your medical degree, you're done with it, you can take the USMLE step 3 and apply to residency programs in America. If you guys don't know, you still have to do like a residency program, which is typically 3 to 4 years. During that time, you are going to be getting paid. You are technically a doctor, but you are not an attending. You are not an attending, then you're still like a baby doctor essentially. So you're not getting the, but you're getting paid and you're still getting medical training technically, although you will be like treating patients around that time. But the residency program is something you can apply to once you've completed your medical degree outside of America. So you apply to the medical program, to the residency program. After taking your step exam, you would, I believe, have to fly into the country to take your step exam, and you would also have to fly into the country to potentially audition. Basically, there's this thing what we call audition rotation, which is basically auditioning in the hospitals that you would like to have your residency program at. So you would basically be working and just be auditioning, like doing your rotation in the specialty that you would like to also do essentially within that clinic. So audition rotation is something that you probably have to fly into the country to do. It helps with your application, your residency application process. It helps like kind of like let the clinic get to know you as you get to know them, and potentially help you like increase your chance of matching once it's time to match into a residency program. That path is the least expensive of all of the path that I've just talked about, but it's also very difficult because a lot of the residency programs technically prioritize medical students that completed their medical degree in America. However, it's not impossible. like I see it all the time on Twitter, like Nigerian doctors especially like matching into residency programs in America. So it's not impossible. It's also a very, very valid path. So that is all of the things I have to do. Let me see all of my questions to make sure that I have everything answered. I feel like I answered a lot of questions. I don't have the statistic, like the specific statistics of like the percentage of international students that get into medical school in America after completing their undergraduate degree outside of America. I don't have the specific number for it. However, after speaking to the representative from the admissions office of my school, I'm believing it's a lot lower than, it's very low. Essentially, it's very low. However, I also believe it's not impossible. It's not like a 0 point something. I believe it's just a low number, but I don't know what the percentage is. But again, it's not impossible, and I hope you feel encouraged after watching this video. It's not impossible. It's something that you definitely have to work towards, definitely have to fight for, but it's not impossible, like I said. And consider all of the other alternatives that I mentioned in this video, and I am rooting for you. You've got this. You've got this. Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video now, and I think I'm going to finally post this one because I filmed this video, no lies, no jokes. I filmed this video 4 times. This is my 4th time filming this video, so I think I finally got it down. I feel like the lighting is good, my makeup is good, and I feel like I was able to express myself well in this video. So I think I'm going to post this one finally. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. Again, like I said, I hope you find it encouraging and helpful. And also, I also want to put a huge disclaimer. Don't see this video as the only resource out there. Definitely do your own research online. Like I said, contact those schools, like whatever schools you want to apply to, contact them, ask them questions before your application process. And know that the medical school application process takes a year. So if you start today, you don't start medical school until next year. So do your research and make sure you are giving yourself the best possible options, and also just looking at all of the resources that are available for you, including this one, and I hope you find them helpful. Again, like I said, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm very happy about this video, and I think I'm gonna post it. So anyways, I hope to see you in the next video. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any other questions regarding to medical school and international students in medicine, let me know. I'll be more than happy to film the video and answer your questions directly. And I'm sorry this video took a long time. All that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.